Hey guys, Gabby here from Ray Studios, and today I'm gonna be reviewing the Weebill 3. We have a pretty nice white box in here. Overall, the whole unboxing experience was very pleasant. It came with a whole bunch of cables, basically any cable you'll ever need to connect to a camera, and a couple of 3.5mm mic jacks, light filters, a lens support, an Arca Swiss and Manfrotto plate. We have some documentation like the survey card with all the countries in which Zhiyun have presence, a very detailed multilingual manual, and here is the bag that it can be worn as a regular backpack. We have a couple of buckles here on the side in which we can probably add some attachments, and when you open this zipper we can access the bottom compartment on the back. That seems like a rather big compartment for just a tripod. Talking about the tripod, it seems very good quality, I like it. And here it is, the gimbal itself. And considering the size of the bag, the gimbal is actually very small. You can see it here, but okay, we're gonna talk a little bit more on that later. Okay, first let's address this. This backpack is way too big for such a little gimbal. On top of that, I personally have way too many bags from Gitzo, Manfrotto. I like to carry my gimbal together with my camera and lenses, and this doesn't make any sense to me. So if you're planning on buying this gimbal, well, save some money, don't get the bag, unless you really like it. I don't think I'll be using this bag. This gimbal is pretty small and lightweight. And in case you wonder, yeah, smaller and lighter than the DJI RC2. Even so, this one is folded at the moment, this is still smaller. They both have about the same payload and they're a very similar price range. This one has better locks and it have a lot more features. Now, with this out of the way, let's just focus on this one now. I remember back in the days when I started my filmmaking career, gimbals were pretty heavy, bulky, and they will only have like 1 or 2 buttons and a joystick. This is what I consider a smart gimbal. It's like a small computer in my hand. We have the power button right at the base of the gimbal. We also have a small LCD screen facing you while using this gimbal, and on the right side we do have a joystick, the recording button and the mode button. In the other side we have the menu button and a wheel to scroll through the settings on the menu. Now if you press and hold the menu button, you activate the light. Yeah, that's right, this gimbal have a light. And you can adjust the intensity of the light with the same scroll. Now here at the back we have a trigger and a wheel. Now this wheel can be used to either adjust the focus on your lens if your camera or lens is compatible with that feature, but you can also set it up to different settings in your camera. I often use it for ISO. When it comes to the joystick bit on the right side of the gimbal, well, that could be a bit of a problem for some people, like me being left-handed. So you can see how my thumb rests on this side of the gimbal. I can still reach out, it's really not a big deal. But even if you are right-handed, while using a gimbal, it's common to switch hands, the position of the hand. Maybe you will grab it with the left, as your arms will get tired after a while, maybe 1 hour of using the gimbal. They're definitely gonna get tired. You're gonna be switching hands, and then you're gonna find out that the joystick is not where it used to be, it's in the other side. So I would much rather have it right here in the middle where it belongs. The Weebill 3 came with 2 very useful accessories. So we have a handle that, as you can see, it can extend, so it gets very long, and you can adjust the position pretty much anywhere you like. And we also have a wrist rest or wrist stand, because this is well done also as a stand, so you don't really need to use the mini tripod to get the gimbal to stand up. If you decide to use the wrist support, mind you, this can also be used to replace your mini tripod, and that can be very convenient. Still, I will always recommend to use the tripod. Because this gimbal is so small, there aren't any NATO mounts or Corshun mounts anywhere in the hand grip, but we do have 2 ROSETTA mount screws at the bottom, and that's where you can adjust the 2 accessories that came with it. But there is always a possibility to get different accessories for it. Mounting a camera on this gimbal is as easy as it ever was I usually work on a gimbal with the Canon EOS R6 and the 35mm f1.8. It's a rather light combination, but you can have bigger lenses and in some cases bigger cameras. The roll axis motor cannot be adjusted. That could be a big disadvantage for people who have cameras like the Blackmagic Pocket 4K or the Pocket 6K that are very wide. We can lock each motor independently, which makes the whole stabilization process a lot faster and easier. They even have included a little tool that is magnetic and attached to the bottom of your gimbal, and you can use it to screw your 1/4-inch screw directly to your camera. When you're done, back into the gimbal. Mounting and dismounting the side handle and the wrist rest, it was actually so easy. The side handle can be adjusted into so many positions, so it's very comfortable to do low shots like I normally do. We tend to shoot a lot of videos for electric skateboards, so we tend to use a lot this handle in different positions. And for when we are shooting for long periods of time, the wrist rest, it helps a lot by carrying this gimbal for long periods of time without feeling pain. When it comes to stabilization, and I believe this is the most important, after all this is just a gimbal, and I believe that Zhiyun have one of the very best algorithms in the market today. In my opinion, even better than DJI. It's somewhere up there as one of the best together with Mocha gimbals that are also pretty good. So very good algorithms, very lightweight. It is a pleasure to work with. But this gimbal also have a lot of extra features than other gimbals don't have. When I seen that this gimbal have a light, the first thing I thought was, this have to be a gimmick. How can this little light be bright enough to illuminate anything at all? And the first thing I tried was put it into selfie mode and turn on the light and I literally go blind for a few seconds. It's incredibly bright. I don't even know how they do that. It's just so very bright. So you need to be careful if you're going to be vlogging. Set it up at the lowest settings because trust me, it's very bright. But the great advantage is in cases in which I have my cameraman Michael holding the gimbal at me at night in dark situations. So this is how it looks with the light on. We didn't break the microphone yet, but that would have been a good place to test the microphone as well. I know that this light is bright enough that we can use the camera on a gimbal with a light without having to add any extra light or anything else, and it's gonna be pretty okay even from a distance. Considering we have a light and an inbuilt microphone into the gimbal, I believe that Zhiyun is aiming at having a gimbal that is useful for many case scenarios, including vlogging. 3-tap in this trigger right here and the gimbal will go into selfie mode, and to be honest, yeah, it is very light, but from my personal experience, I will never use a gimbal for vlogging and it's adding a lot of extra weight. But if you want the best possible footage, go for it. I highly recommend it. The battery on this gimbal can give you approximately 20 hours of use. I believe there is no human being in this world that can hold a gimbal with a camera for 20 hours straight. Your arms are gonna burn. But good thing is, if you get tired, you can always switch between the gimbal into a tripod since we do have a Manfrotto plate. I believe when Zhiyun makes this gimbal, they thought about covering everybody's needs. I'm a filmmaker and YouTuber, and I believe that this is perfect for me. It's very lightweight, very comfortable to use for a long time. And if you're into vlogging, well, this gimbal is going to be absolutely perfect for you if you want to use a gimbal while vlogging. It is very small, lightweight. You can just throw it in your backpack. You don't need to carry that big bag that it came with in the box, but you just instead put it in your backpack or literally anywhere. It will fit anywhere. The build quality is pretty phenomenal, so you don't need to worry about this breaking down by just putting in your backpack. By the way, if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you up in the next video.